guys, welcome back to my channel, and I am back with this lovely human being. This one.
Hi.
Here. Yes, Kirsty. And we wanted to have a little bit of the chats, because we haven't had the chats in a while.
We haven't.
And we have an opinion on something, which is
exam,
yeah.
stress, stuff, mental health, important things.
So we've just finished our A-levels, thank God for that.
I'm so happy.
Genuinely, quick thing, if you're doing A-levels, just be aware they are really hard.
Yep.
We're not just saying it, like, we have just finished.
Yeah.
We've literally just done it all.
Everyone's like, oh, they're so much harder than GCSE, and you're like, yeah.
It's non-imaginable.
And then when you're actually in it, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, should have revised. From when people say revise from like November, actually do it.
And like, don't just like sit and read over your book. What would be the best thing is to like make resourceful resources, because then I literally had a week between one exam and my last exam, and I had to take notes on an entire course and then learn them in a week.
Was that
tutors?
Yep.
Yeah,
I
was literally most people had already made mind maps and like some revision cards. I had nothing. I hadn't looked at the textbook. No notes, no nothing. I was like, I'm screwed.
But the exam was okay.
The exam was okay. But that was very much just like luck of the draw.
Yeah, it was the questions, not the revision necessarily.
So
that's what we want to talk about. We want to talk about how to cope with these things.
Yeah. So I mean, revising does actually take a lot of stress off in the long run. And annoyingly, I hate saying that once like you're out of it.
I know.
Because it's just like, we didn't do that.
I know.
You will be okay if you don't revise. I will also say that.
Yeah, we didn't necessarily revise the most.
Yeah, we could have done more.
Yeah, but then it's also like, when you're actually realising that, there's no point in thinking, oh, I should have done it back then, because you didn't.
Yeah.
You're doing it now, so you might as well just spend your time revising rather than worrying.
I think also the thing of like leading off of that is that you have to balance life and revision. Like I think we maybe could have still done a little bit more than we did do, but we did the good thing of having some time for ourselves, like going out still a little bit, not that much really, but
we're just like all the time.
But we both have boyfriends and we've spent like time with them, and
they've helped us revise as well.
Yeah, like
sure
drilled it into us.
Yeah, don't like isolate yourself.
Yeah, and like obviously it doesn't have to be a relationship, but still hang out with some friends.
Exactly, and your family as well.
Yeah, just make sure that you are still doing things that like
being
you literally
human. Yeah,
and they have to be very separate from revision. Obviously, like we said, we had help like revising sometimes, but it would be nice, like it's nice when you don't do anything to do with revision.
Yeah,
and you just like you go out to the cinema or you
that's
do
we
something.
did that a couple of times.
Yeah,
and that was really nice because it's only like a few hours, like, and we did it on weeknights as well.
Yeah, and it's just like you literally just zone out. You're like not thinking about revision right now.
Yeah, like try not to think about it when you're doing something else.
Yeah, don't feel guilty, because there's no point. There's literally no point in not, like, if you go out and you still sat there like, oh, I need to do this and this and this. You're not enjoying the time, and then there's no point. You may as well just stayed at home and done the revision.
Exactly. And you can't actually revise that well if you're stressed so much that you're not like going out and doing other things.
Yeah. Like
it will help you revise if you're having time to just like chill. Because when you come back to it, your brain will be like ready to do more. Yeah, and it will be like thanking you. It'll be like, okay, so we had a good time. Now it's time to do a bit of work, and then we can go have another good time. Yeah. And like, do you find you revise better in the morning, right? Yeah, I cannot revise in the evenings. I noticed that when it got to like kind of 3 o'clock, I was like, oh, I can't do it. So then I was like, okay, I'll just get up earlier, revise for that time, and then go out and do something in the evening. There's no point in trying to revise when you know that your brain's just like, if you're sat there just staring at the page, it's just make you sad. Yeah, I will say, obviously different things work for different people. Something that I realised this year really is that making timetables really helps. Yeah, same. If you're someone, like I think you were the one that really, you were like, oh, I've made a timetable, you should try it. If you're someone that is like Kirsty and I, in the sense that you always feel like you could do more, like if you
aren't satisfied with what you've done, like if you sit there for, you could have been sat there for 8 hours and you still think, oh, like I still need to have done more, then timetables is good. Because like it also feels like you've accomplished something. Yeah,
you can like tick things off, ticking stuff off.
That is
like
so satisfying.
Best feeling.
Yeah, I always made little boxes next to the hour or whatever. Yeah, and I'd always tick it because that it just makes you feel like, okay, that's completed.
Yeah,
I can stop thinking about that and then move on.
And like I also found that, because sometimes people are like, okay, I'm gonna do like an hour of revision, but I find it easier and better to be like, I'm gonna do this like topic or this sheet, because it might take you less time. And like if you get something done in like half an hour and it's like that was what you were originally going to do, if then you're just sort of revising for the rest of the hour, like for the sake of it, and nothing's going in, then there's no point.
Yeah,
like you might as well do shorter but better revision than like hours of revision that's just a bit like
yeah, I found that having like specific things to do, like I on my timetable I would write not just like revise English, it would be revise this specific thing in English, revise this year in like history, because like I don't know, if you, because that's the thing, if you think that there's too much to tackle, then it's harder to tackle. But if you do like, oh, I've done an hour on this, an hour on this, and an hour on this, and then do a different hour the next day, you know you've covered every single thing.
Exactly, like you're doing each little bit of it, and then in the end you'll have done all of it.
Yeah, and then you do that over and over again, which is so fun.
I love it.
So fun. But you definitely, if you've started earlier, then you'll get like to a point where that revision won't be so hard because you'll know it.
It's like it'll be in like your memory. I'm so distracted now.
This happens a lot when I'm filming.
Oh, I don't even know what I was saying.
I don't remember what you were saying either.
If you start at the beginning, I kind of found that hard because I would do that, but then I would always think I'm going to have forgotten this by the exam.
Yeah.
But if you at least make notes at the beginning, then you can come back to them nearer the time, and then you can actually just go over them. Because like actually making the notes often takes up like the most time.
Yeah, I found that with when I was cramming for tutors.
Yeah,
it was like it took me like 2 days to make notes and then 1 day to learn them.
Like when we actually are learning it as we go along in class, like I used to do that. I did that in psychology, but nothing else. Like every time we'd learn something new in psychology, I'd make a mind map on it. Because like if you do it, it literally takes like 20 minutes of your day, and then by the end you're like, oh, I've got these pretty mind maps, now I can just look at them.
I think something that I realised only by the end was that in history, if any of you take history as an A-level, especially at Cheam High, you'll not really be taught the subject, and you kind of pinch yourself. And I mean, in some ways it's good because you generally don't get taught things at uni, so it's a little bit of like a step up. But what we found was we'd sort of get told what page something was on and get told to just make notes
for a whole hour.
And
like when because we have 3 periods because we were in sixth form obviously, so like we were allowed to go home, and we live really close to the school, so we'd like come home, go in for 1 lesson and be told to sit and make notes, and then we were like, we could have just done this at home in bed, like sit in bed and just do it, like instead of we were in a classroom.
I will say though, if you are being made, if you don't get 3 periods in your school or whatever, or if you, like your parents aren't cool with you not going in or whatever, do make better use of that time, because I didn't make notes in a way that I could then revise from them.
I found that kind of hard sometimes.
I wish that I could do like what I should have done, and maybe what you guys could do if any of you are watching this that are younger. Take in like flashcards and make notes on flashcards, and then you can use those nearer to the exam. I think that would have helped me a lot more.
Because everyone kind of just ended up writing it on paper, and it's like
you lose that paper. I also, and I don't think this will ever really change for me, but having things in order in a folder helps. I never did that. I don't think, from the beginning of sixth form to the end of sixth form, I could never keep things in order.
Organising your folders is good, and having tidy ones.
Yeah.
Mine were horrendous.
Yeah. So like if you have a good tidy folder, then you do know where all your notes are that you've been making over the year. I didn't.
And it's really nice to have a tidy folder. Like someone in my psychology, her folder was so neat, and I was like, oh, I want it. Mine sheets fell out every time I picked it up, basically.
I stopped. I think I only took it for like the first 6 months of the first year of sixth form. I stopped bringing in folders, but then the problem was I would just put sheets in my bag and then never look at them again.
Yeah, same. I'd find it like 6 months later and be like, oh, that's where it went.
Yep.
Don't need it now. Also though, I was just thinking about when we were talking about revision, I kind of just imagined like having to revise now. And like, obviously we would still be able to do it, but in a way I'm like, how the hell like, did we do that? So like afterwards, it will feel really good once you've finished. Just remember that, like, it's only for a certain time in your life that you have to do all of this revision. And then you literally have like 3 months.
And do any. I really hate, like, a lot of these stuff is going to be stuff that you get told by most people, and it is true, but you don't believe it in the time. The 2 years of sixth form, if you go to sixth form, obviously it's different if you go to college, but they go so fast.
They do. I mean, it's weird because it's like, I feel like it's like with a lot of things, when you're in it, sometimes you're like, oh, this is so slow. And then at the end, like I'm thinking back to year 12, when there was like our first few like new lessons, and that doesn't seem like it was that long ago. So when you're out of it, you're like, oh my god. So just try and actually work hard, but also look after yourself.
Yeah, you do need to look after yourself. I would recommend for the looking after yourself part, if you're someone that already struggles with any mental disorders, then you need to make sure that you definitely have people around you can talk to. So either friends, or I had a counsellor up until the end of sixth form. So that's like definitely a need if you know that you have a mental disorder, or you need, like, if that's how you work best, is like talking to people. I would definitely say going out occasionally and feeling guilt-free about it.
Yeah, just try not to think about anything else.
Yeah. And having, for me what was good is, I only found this like a couple of weeks ago really, but having a type of exercise that isn't about exercising in a bad way. It's just like, we started going to kickboxing.
It's so good, like something that's like, because I know running helps a lot of people, but like for us, or at least for me, I'm just like, no. But like something that you like enjoy, because we both enjoyed boxing, and like with that you were literally punching something as hard as you want.
Boxing is it's so good.
I really want to go again soon.
It really releases like endorphins and stuff.
It was really, really good. And the one we went to is only like, it's like there are lots of chains of them. Now 9 round, that's what it's called. I always think it's like the other way around. 9 round fitness or something like that. It's like 30-minute slots, and it's so good.
Yeah.
So if you can find one near you,
check it out. It is expensive, we will say that.
It is, yeah.
It is definitely expensive, but I found that it pays off more for me than anything else.
If you go a lot, then it works out fine. It just depends like whether you want to do that. But doing something, doesn't even have to be exercise, just something
something you enjoy.
Yeah, like releases stress, like music or like drawing or something. Make sure you give yourself time to do that as well. And don't worry, like I know that's the thing, some teachers are like, you should be revising 8 hours a day.
Don't listen to that.
Don't. Like,
just BS.
Only a few people actually do it. And some people are able to do that. But also, like, there's, as we said, there's no point if it's just going to be, if it's not going to be efficient for you.
If you're just sat there forcing yourself to do 8 hours.
Just because someone says you should.
My max was generally about 4 hours a day.
I'd say like 3 or 4.
Yeah, it depended on the day, depended on what I was doing.
Sometimes I did like an hour.
Yeah, same.
But you just have to accept
really depended.
That. Yeah, because if your brain's not, like, able to do it, it's not able to do it. You'll be able to do it again.
Like, if you start a bit earlier than definitely I started, then it might be a bit less stressful, because you will find that if you just did 1 hour that day, it's like, okay, fine, but I will do some more tomorrow, or if I don't do some more tomorrow, I'll do some more next week, and it builds up more.
Yeah.
So
just try, like, I always used to think, oh, cramming's so bad. I crammed for a couple of our exams.
Quite a lot.
We didn't cram like entirely, like everything. We'd done a bit of revision, like throughout the year.
I'd done more like breadth stuff.
Yeah, I kind of know what you mean. Like, you get an overview of everything, so you understand it.
You know everything.
Like trying to remember certain things. That's when I did panic before most exams, to be honest, especially history.
Yeah, me too.
But it will be over in a couple of hours, and there's no point in panicking too much. Otherwise, you'll just mess up the exam because you're panicking.
I think the thing is, once exam period actually came around, it wasn't as stressful though.
It wasn't.
The weeks following, like, just coming up to exams were the worst ones.
Like, just before half term, that last, like, month. I'd say, like, between Easter and then half term, literally before our exams.
Yeah. That is the worst.
It just went up in stress.
It's because it's like the countdown towards exams, and you're like, do I have enough time? I don't have enough time. It's just a lot of panic, but you also want to get through it.
So like you don't want more time, but you do to be able to revise. But we survived it.
We're still here.
We're fine.
Yeah, we're fine.
Exactly.
We did it.
Yes. Have you really thought about exams since we've done them, or
no?
No.
I don't care
I think
anymore.
That helps. Because a lot of people I've known have come out of an exam being like, oh yeah, that went really well. And then later on they were like, oh no, I've messed up so much. And it's like, don't think, once the exam's done, don't think about your answers.
I get rid of my notes instantly. Because if I look over then my notes and then think about, oh, like, did I write that correctly in my exam? Did I do this and that? It's like, one, you're not going to remember exactly what you did in the exam.
Yeah.
And two, like, just don't do that to yourself. You can't do anything about it.
And you have no idea what the examiner's going to do either.
Yeah.
Like, what grey boundaries there are, or like often we think that we've done worse than we actually have as well. So there's no point thinking about it after you've done it, and there's no point in stressing yourself out so much that you won't be able to do it. Like, well, do you know what I mean?
I mean, I can definitely say that I don't know how young my audience is. Or oh, you okay?
I'm fine.
No, she might be dying, but it's not from A-levels.
No. I'm still fine.
What was I going to say? Oh yeah, if you're in GCSE levels, or you're about to do your GCSEs, or you've just done your GCSEs, I will say, try hard at GCSEs. Because I had a different approach on this a couple of months ago. Of, once I was in, like when I was in GCSEs, they were a big deal. And that was good for me because I did my best. But again, obviously the same advice goes, don't stress too hard. And then I came out of them, I was like, oh, they're not that big a deal, they only got me into A-levels, but they do determine your predicted grades at A-level, and a lot of the time, although this might be changing, I think I heard something about this changing, so this might not be relevant in a year or so, but your predicted grades at A-level are what determine your offers from uni, and whether I get my predicted grades or not this year, if I do, that will be so great. But my predicted grades were something that enabled me to actually get an unconditional offer, which it takes a lot of pressure off. So just help yourself. Like, do stuff now that will help yourself in the future. Do things now that will help you later, because I tried hard at GCSEs, which gave me good predicted grades at A-level, which probably added to the fact that I got 4 unconditional offers from unis. So just do stuff now, and it relates like even after stuff, like I'll make it clearer maybe, of like sometimes you don't want to do stuff in life that are hard work and they're effort, but if you think about it, that effort that you put in now could pay off massively later. So sometimes you just need to look at it like that. Like the same with A-levels, they're stressful, they require a lot of work, but that work that you put in now will help you ultimately at some point in your life. It'll probably come back to you.
Yeah, because if you like don't, it's fine like if you try and you don't necessarily get like the grades you wanted, but if you don't try, like then
you'll
later
be disappointed in yourself.
you'll think, oh, I could have just tried a little bit.
But if it is the case that you either didn't try hard enough and you didn't do as well as you wanted to, or you did try hard, you did do all the things you could do and you still didn't get what you wanted to, there are always other options.
Yeah, it's not like that's it, you can't do what you want to do, because like there's like with unis there's like clearance, which a lot of people go through clearing, and then there's also the fact that if you, for example, don't get into the uni that you thought you wanted to go to, so like you had seen it on an open day and you were convinced that was where you wanted to go, sometimes it works out that the one that you do get into, you still have an amazing time and you're like, I wouldn't have wanted to go anywhere else. Yeah, and there are things that are like apprenticeships. There are, I can't think, but like there are lots of different things you can do. Some people don't even Like, they just go straight into jobs and stuff.
And then sometimes you can work your way up like a job ladder and still go really far. So
yeah,
exams are not the be all and end all. It is about whether you're willing to put in effort to get yourself where you want to go. But like, yeah, exams are hard. They're stressful, but they're not the most important thing in the world.
In life, they're not. I said something about this on Instagram.
Oh yes, you did.
Passed it on to you. The cough, not this. But what was it I even said? I was like, exams are not more important than you basically, because to be honest, what if like one day, I don't know, A-levels were completely scrapped and like your A-level grades basically meant nothing to employers, but you'd like destroyed your mental health or your physical health or whatever, like you completely burnt yourself out, then you'd be like, oh well, you know, it's way more important. Because also, like, if you don't look after yourself mentally or physically, as in like you don't make yourself ill and stuff, then even if you get like the grades you wanted to get to uni, you might not even be able to go because you might not be well enough to. So you have to make sure that you're like doing like both. But yourself, you should be like here, and then your grades should be like somewhere, you know, wherever, how important they are to you, but they should never be like above you. The
thing that you also need to remember is like when you get into jobs, there'll also be like life tests and sometimes exams. So
like interviews and stuff.
There will always be another chance for you to prove yourself. If one exam didn't go the greatest, if you are a cool person and you have lots to give, or you're talented in something, or you just work really hard, you will always have a chance to redeem yourself, whether that grade is like,
definitely,
like amazing or not. And even sometimes you get the best grades, sometimes life just doesn't give you all the chances. So you know,
grades, they're not, you know, they're not the most important thing.
They're really not.
I think have good like expectations of yourself, but I also kind of wish in a way that I hadn't, like, especially when you have an older sibling, sometimes you can sort of compare your grades to theirs and think you have to beat them.
I kind of wish I didn't know my
oh my god, same. I wish that I had never found them out. They weren't even like, I mean, they were good, but they weren't like, oh my god, that's absolutely insane. But I was still like, I want to like at least get the same as her. And also I think just in general, if you expect yourself at the beginning of year 12 to get like all A stars, it will probably add stress to you. If you instead just think, I just want to try my best the whole year, that's probably better.
Also, A star at GCSE versus A star at A level is very different ballpark. An A star in GCSE is generally equivalent to like a C or a B at A level. So don't be phased when you start getting C's and B's or D's, or even, especially in year 12.
So many people get them at A level and then they're like, oh my god, what's happened? The teacher's like, no, it's fine. It's okay, dear, it's okay.
I feel like people might think we're lying about we're not dying.
We're not, we're fine.
Disintegrating. There's nothing to do.
See, this is what we mean about A levels. We are a little bit burnt out.
And there's also a really weird feeling of like constantly feel like we need to do something, but we don't.
Yeah, but it is lovely when you realise you don't have to, and we can just sleep
all day. That's happening.
I slept quite a lot last night.
I wish I did.
Crap.
I think that might be everything.
I think it probably is.
Make sure you eat well, and by eat well I don't mean having to eat healthy all the time.
Just eat enough food, like fueled.
Eat what you need. Fuel. Eat what you want.
Breakfast. Right. It does irritate me sometimes when before exams people, I'm just going to carry on. People are like, oh, I can't eat breakfast.
You can't, I cannot. I need to eat a lot before an exam.
Like, same. I mean, in general life, I'm kind of, whatever. Like, if you can't eat breakfast, fine. But before an exam is so important because it's for your brain. Even if your body's like, ew, breakfast, your brain's like, give me food. That's me anyway.
Although as well at A level, exams are much longer. So they're like I've had 2.5 hour exams.
And you eat before and then you're like,
I'm still hungry. I will have a full English breakfast and a snack before the exam and still be hungry in the exam.
Pee before. Should we do some practical tips?
Pee before.
Prop. Water during exam, but not too much because then you need to pee. The amount of people who leave an exam to pee.
I've never done that in my life.
I am not losing any of this time. Yep. Like, I will sit there and hold. I will hold it in. Tissues. Right, I don't know the policy with tissues. I was allowed them.
Same.
Because everyone was kind of ill during exam periods.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'd say ask if you're allowed to take your own tissues in, because they might think you've cheated using them, but...
Yeah, I feel like there were many opportunities where I could have cheated if I wanted to, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Because...
We're good. Ah, bless you. What else?
Yeah, obviously we've had a really bad hay fever season during our exams.
Oh,
and I suffer really quite a lot from hay fever.
You do, actually.
So I was sneezing and
everything.
All in the exams, so I needed those tissues. That is all the advice that we can give, I think.
We are drained of advice.
Yeah. So I hope that this helps even one person out there to just maybe, just like if your stress is here, just bring it down a little bit.
And look after yourself, please.
Yeah.
It annoys me when teachers stress exams more than health.
Yep. So we are doing the opposite. That is all, my lovely people.
Good luck.
If you liked this exam and if you are going through exams and you're feeling the pressure, please just give it a thumbs up and we'll know that
this has helped a
we
bit.
can help you, and also we will know how you feel right now.
And questions, you can put questions in the comments.
Yeah, if anyone has any questions.
Because we've been through primary, high school, and then sixth form as well. So if you have questions about any of it,
we've done it all.
We've been there and we survived.
We've just got uni to come, and then once that's done, we can tell you about that too.
We tell you about working.
The working life. That's I'm embarking on that soon.
Oh god. 3 years. Oh wait, do you mean summer?
Yep.
Ah.
Anyways, guys, please subscribe, to my channel if you liked it, and we, or me, who knows, we'll see you next Friday.
Bye.
Bye.